Hello, and welcome to the Wiregrass Black History Channel. My name is James L. Thompson, Jr., and I was born and raised in Dothan, Alabama. I'm lucky enough to call myself an author and publisher. Right now, I have 2 books out at Amazon. The first book came out in 2023, and it's called Just My Imagination Running Away With Me, named after a Motown song. And this book consists of poems, essays, and short stories. A lot of these poems, essays, and short stories were written 30 years ago when I lived in the city of Dothan, Alabama. I was able to collect them and put them in a binder and then have them published several years later. My second book that came out this year, January 15, 2024, is called Love is Like Glass Slippers. And I followed the same format as I did in the last book. It also consists of essays, poems, and short stories. Many of them emanate from Dothan, Alabama. I was born in a section of Dothan, Alabama called the Baptist Bottom, which is really a blue-collar area that we grew up in, and I consider it was a very safe area when I was growing up. I wrote the book, Just My Imagination Running Away From Me, because I wanted that book to be a tribute to the hometown I grew up in. And I also want to be a tribute to a lot of the friends and family that I grew up with, because they impressed me to become what I am today. And a lot of stories in there are stories that are true stories, things that really happened involving people that really existed. So for me, it was reminiscing and walking down memory lane, writing about people that I knew, that I loved, and I cared about. One of the mentors I had growing up was my father, James L. Thompson Sr., everybody called him Shaq. He was one of my mentors. And a lot of the ethics training I got came from him, work ethics in particular. Another mentor I had, his name was Mr. Bob James. He was the executive director of the Hawk Houston Boys Club that was in the Baptist Bottom, that a lot of us boys went to, and we had fun because it was a life-saving club that took us off the street, and it taught us skills and things to do, like learn how to play sports. So Mr. James was a big role model. I guess another role model would have been Mr. Michael Patton, who was the principal of Montana Street Elementary School where I attended. And I really learned a lot from him, and he shaped me in being the man that I am today. One of the favorite stories in my book concerns a story called the Baptist Bottom Boys. And the Baptist Bottom Boys is about a singing group of young men who did a cappella singing on the street in the 1950s, which was going on around the country. And just like every other place, Dothan, Alabama had its groups who used to come on the corner and sing. And this particular night, they had a competition, we call it a talent show. There were 5 groups involved in this competition, and only one group can win. And the winner of the group were 5 friends who lived in the Baptist Bottom, who called themselves the Baptist Bottom Boys. It's really a kind of a throwback look at the 1950s and how easygoing things were back then, and how we had fun singing on the street and not having any violence. So it's a feel-good story about a feel-good time. Love is Like Glass Slippers is a book. The whole theme of this book is love. It runs throughout the book. And there are several short stories and essays and poems in this book. They all have the same theme, love. And love means different things to different people. There's a love of pets, there's a love of food, love of people, love of things, and love of ideas. So I tried to come up with different examples of love and put them in this book so different people can relate to it, be it an essay, a poem, or a short story. I think you'll find that when you read this book, a lot of things will come back to you that you may have remembered that happened to you when you were growing up. It doesn't matter what part of the country you're from, north, south, east, or west. Love is the same all over. Motivating factor for me to write these books is really, I wanted to leave a legacy for my family and the people that I grew up with. A lot of history that we go through is not being recorded. And I wanted to record this history in book form, in literary form, so people can have stories to read that take them back to the times where I lived with my family and friends. And I think that's a shortcoming today. I really want to encourage other people to be more writers, but most importantly, I want to encourage people to be more readers.